Rihanna's late father, Ronald Fenty, is no longer here physically, but his presence lingers in the most profound part of her life today, motherhood. His complex legacy, both troubled and tender, is now shaping how Rihanna chooses to raise her children, and the emotional weight of that transformation has just come to light in one of her most candid public moments yet. At the Los Angeles premiere of the Smurfs movie on July 13, 2025, Rihanna stunned fans not just with her radiant appearance, but with her raw, heartfelt reflections on parenting and how her father's recent passing has deeply influenced the way she's raising her family. Ronald Fenty, who died just weeks earlier, wasn't always the ideal parent. Their relationship had been public, painful, and at times legally strained. But as Rihanna herself said in that emotional interview, "I've always dreamed of what type of grandfather he would be to them because of the favorite parts of my dad, you know?" Ronald Fenty passed away in late May 2025 at the age of 70. The cause of death was a heartbreaking combination of health complications: acute respiratory failure, pancreatic cancer, aspiration pneumonia, acute renal failure, and acute tubular necrosis. He was hospitalized at Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles and was reportedly surrounded by close family, including Rihanna, when he took his final breath. His funeral was held on July 8 at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium in Bridgetown, Barbados, a deeply symbolic return to the roots that shaped both father and daughter. Rihanna arrived solemnly, accompanied by her longtime partner A$AP Rocky and their two young sons, Arzi and Riot, in a quiet but powerful family tribute that drew attention across the globe. And now, weeks later, Rihanna is finally breaking her silence, not with grand speeches or dramatic tributes, but with parenting decisions. Speaking with Entertainment Tonight at the premiere, she shared how she's intentionally avoiding raising tablet babies. In her words, "I want them to be outside and in nature. No, like, tablet babies." She vividly recalled her own childhood in Barbados, running barefoot through the trees, living freely, and learning from the world around her. That joy, that natural curiosity, that was the version of her father she's choosing to keep alive. The father who gave her freedom, a sense of adventure, and a connection to the outdoors. "That was like the funnest part of my life. You don't get to do that anymore." And that's what she's trying to change. Rihanna is pushing back against the digital overload of modern parenting, trading screens for soil, tablets for tree branches. Her sons, 3-year-old Arzi and 1-year-old Riot, are growing up in a home where real-life exploration matters more than algorithms. And for Rihanna, this shift isn't just nostalgia, it's legacy. This shift feels even more significant when you understand the long and often painful history between Rihanna and her father. Over the years, Ronald Fenty struggled with alcoholism, crack cocaine addiction, and public missteps that deeply hurt his daughter. In 2012, she opened up about witnessing abuse in her household, and in 2019, she sued him for exploiting her name and brand without permission. But despite everything, there was reconciliation. As time passed and his health deteriorated, Rihanna chose to embrace the better parts of the man who raised her. She forgave. She reconnected. She made peace. And in doing so, she found a way to transform pain into purpose, for herself and now for her children. That emotional maturity was on full display not only in her words but in her actions. Attending her father's funeral alongside A$AP Rocky, holding her sons close, she radiated a kind of strength that comes from healing. The photos from that day, Rihanna in a black dress, head held high, walking with grace and gravity, spoke louder than any eulogy. And now, with a third baby on the way, fans are hanging on to her every word. At the Smurfs premiere, when asked about the gender of baby number 3, Rihanna smiled and teased, "Are you guys going to be so hurt if it's a boy?" Social media instantly exploded with speculation. "It's definitely a girl," fans posted across X and Instagram. The expectation is that the baby's name will begin with an R, continuing the family's already iconic naming tradition. But whether it's a boy or a girl, one thing is certain: Rihanna is building a future that's deeply influenced by her past, and her children are growing up in the most emotionally aware version of her world. Fans have responded with overwhelming support. One X user wrote, "Rihanna's honesty always shines through. Whatever the baby's gender, the love and excitement will be unstoppable. Others have praised her for the natural parenting approach, calling her real, grounded, and a true Bajan mama. In a world where celebrity kids are raised behind closed doors or under the shadow of constant media, Rihanna is doing something revolutionary. She's letting love, legacy, and lessons guide the way. So when she says she's raising her kids without tablets, she's not just making a parenting choice. She's making a generational statement, one that honors the flawed but meaningful life of her late father and reclaims the beauty of childhood for her own family. Ronald Fenty may be gone, but his spirit, the parts that ran free, laughed loud, and lived fully, is living again through his daughter and her children. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.